Hello Internet, Zai the Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction, but this time doing something a little different. You see, I've been playing through Genshin Impact as Aether, and recently I completed Chapter 1, Act 4, where I got to meet Lumine for the first time in-game. And that was a time. But I'm curious, based on what people were saying in the comments section, and how I know that these protagonists very much do have their own personalities, that they're not just the copy and paste of a male or female skin over the same person. They are very different. But now, I'm curious to see what's the other side of the coin. What is Lumine's perspective if Aether was the abyssal sibling? So, without further ado, I'm gonna find out. Let's get into it. Such a cool fight sequence. Dainsleif with this magic. Okay, here we go.
Prince.
Hey! Could that be?
Lumine.
Wait! He just blocked an attack against the Abyss Herald! Your brother? And the Abyss?
Lumine. Why are you with Dane?
Uh-huh? Your brother knows Dane?
Aether. We meet again.
What's going on here? Dane knows him too?
You shouldn't team up with this man. He is my enemy. Aether. But it must be said. Don't try to stop me. Don't try to stop the Abyss. That man Dainsleif was the Twilight Sword, one of the royal guards of the final dynasty of Khaenri'ah. 500 years ago, he failed to prevent the destruction of Khaenri'ah. A curse of immortality was laid upon him, to forever wander the wilderness, while he watched the people he was supposed to protect turn into the monsters of the Abyss.
You're saying Dane is from Khaenri'ah? The same Khaenri'ah that was destroyed 500 years ago? And you said the people turned into monsters? You're trying to tell Paimon that the Abyss Order is not only related to Khaenri'ah, but is actually the people of Khaenri'ah themselves? And the whole thing about Dane being your enemy... Paimon's so confused.
Home. Yes, of course. Home is wherever we are together. But I cannot go with you to the next world to find a new home. At least, not yet. Until the Abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with destiny will see no end. Listen to me, Lumine. I have already traveled through this world once. Once you reach the end of your journey as I did, you will see for yourself the true nature of this world.
It's wild to hear Aether speak so much.
So we'll meet again. Though we need not rush, sister. I have more than enough time to wait for you. We have always had enough time.
Wow.
They left.
This was very cool to see. And although it was, of course, the same script, I understand maybe sometimes, maybe not the major cutscenes, but when interacting with some people, dialogue options might change slightly. or things that characters say to each other. Like, I know, for example, Child calls Lumine girly or something like that. So there's like little things like that happen here and there. I don't know if anything major ever changes as far as the bigger story cutscenes go. And even if they don't, that's fine, because you can do a lot with the delivery. For example, Aether and Lumine's delivery are different. They say the same things, however, they're both delivered slightly differently. Ever so slightly. For me, obviously, I've been playing the game as Aether, so I'm more connected to that kind of story. However, I'm not trying to sell Lumine as the protagonist short at all. I can see why a lot of people like her as a protagonist right now. You know, the animation is relatively the same as what Aether's is when in this position, but she looks like she cares here. Aether as the protagonist is very much the same. However, when they are their Abyss counterparts, it feels slightly different. To me, Lumine does feel a little colder as the Abyss princess. Just a smidge. Aether sounds a little more sensitive to the topic. I almost feel like there is just the subtlest of quivers in his voice when he delivers some of his lines, to be like, this actually hurts me to say it, but it must be said. Kind of, right? Meanwhile, when Lumine delivers the lines, hers is more along the lines of determination. I mean, they're both determined, right? But Aether's feel like he's not struggling, but just like it hurts for him to say it. And hers is just kind of like, I have to say it, right? That's the feeling that I get. At the same time, I have also seen some people write Lumine off as a bitch for acting the way she's acting. And I don't see it that way at all. It really much depends on your perspective. Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to really think about her journey that she's gone through and why she's acting the way she's acting, you might just be like, she's the bad guy. Boo, screw her. She's mean. She should just go home with Aether. Like, yeah, it's dumb. Believe what you want. Think what you want. It's fine. But at the same time, it's not looking into the character at all, not taking into consideration how they might handle their emotions, because people handle things very differently. And I think that's really, really cool to see. I don't fault anyone for liking more than the other, but it was really cool to see it for myself, and I'm glad that I did, because now I have a better understanding going forward of why some people might like some things said a certain way by from one of these characters, and the interactions that they have with other characters within the game, and so on. Here, Lumine as a protagonist, she doesn't seem cold, but when she's the antagonist, she appears to be. So maybe that's why people like that flip. Other than, I mean, I'm speaking beyond just like design purposes, right? Aether to me seems a little bit of the emotional kind of character, both sides. But that's how I see it. I feel like Aether relatively stays the same, just with different goals, while Lumine changes a lot. Just from this cutscene, that's what I think. I could be wrong, and perhaps there's other stuff coming up in the future that would change my perspective on that. But that's what I think. This was really cool. And that's it. Those are my thoughts after watching this cutscene from the perspective of Lumine as Aether being the Abyss sibling. I thought it was really cool to see this other side, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think. I know I heard a little bit from you, but please, for those who haven't, tell me more. Tell me what you think. Are you playing the game as Lumine? Are you playing the game as Aether? Do you have a specific reason why? Is it just designed? Is it actually built around like character? Are you just used to the character that way? You know, things like that. What's your whole perspective of this story, feeling wise? I'm not asking for spoilers. I'm just asking you how you interpret what is going on I guess, emotionally from these characters. And that's pretty much it. I think it's really cool. If there are any other scenes in the future that you would want me to actually react to see the other side of the coin, you know, let me know. Let me know if there's any cutscenes that I should check out at some point in time, because that'd be great and I'd love to do it. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, let me know by subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, leaving a like, dropping a comment down below, or checking out the description for additional ways of how to support me. Every little bit counts. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.